Hello, welcome to the THC Show. I'm your host, Neil Magnuson. This is a show where we talk about truth, hope, and change, three very important things. On the show today, we'll have 8 out of 10 Glenn from CannaMatch.ca join us, as always, for the 420 session. And we'll do an update on the Healing Wave CSP and what's going on with all of that, as we always do. There are some developments, after all. Canada has a shameful history when it comes to cannabis consumers. It has been horrible. In January, it'll be 100 years since Canada decided to criminalize people for possessing this crazy new drug from Mexico that was driving people completely insane. How crazy was that? In the meantime, they've had so many convictions. For the last decade or so, it's been over 50,000 a year. So now, the NDP has put forward a bill to expunge all those records without any effort. Last couple of years, the Liberal government has had a new upgraded program to be able to get cannabis convictions expunged. But it certainly isn't easy, and it wasn't free, and there's only been a couple hundred people that have actually qualified for that. Now, with this new bill, 2 years, in the 2 years following its passage, it's going to be debated in the fall. If it passes, and it looks like it should, the Liberals are supporting this, over the course of the next 2 years, over 250,000 Canadian criminal records for possession of cannabis will just disappear. You don't have to apply, they're just going to make them disappear. Well, that's a good step. Should have happened a long time ago. Should never have been criminalized in the first place. Our government certainly did not do its due diligence on what marijuana was all about. They either bought into the hype and the lies being told south of the border to protect corrupt corporate interests, or they knew full well that there was nothing justifying the criminalization of people who would grow some plants or share them with other people or make money by selling them to people who are willing to pay for them. None of that is a crime. Never should have been a crime. And now they're at least going to admit that over 250,000 Canadians were improperly charged and convicted. I hope they're not listening to me, because maybe that'll scare them off from doing it. But they should have done it a long time ago. And this is not enough. There is a long way to go for Canada to rid its shame for what it's been doing over the last 100 years here. We need an apology. We need a serious, heartfelt apology. And if they really mean it, they're going to see what they can do for reparations to the people who have been unjustly criminalized for this for all of these years. An apology, reparations, an admission that they were wrong, that cannabis is indeed a medical herb that helps people greatly, and they should stop saying that their stores are non-medical, and they should allow for medical dispensaries with low barrier access. We've got a ways to go. For us at the Cannabis Substitution Program, we've been trying to get the government to agree to low barrier access for 22 months now. More than that. We applied 22 months ago because the city of Vancouver wouldn't support us in the storefront that we opened in good faith based on their motion and what they said during the meeting we had with them. 22 plus months ago, we put in that application. We would have applied before, but we didn't know we could. And, in fact, we couldn't. When we started this program 5 years ago last February, there was no legalization, there was no licenses to apply for, but we certainly knew, from my own personal experience, that cannabis high-dose edibles could be a real answer for people struggling with addiction and involved in the toxic drug supply. It was 100% the right thing to do. Never tried to deceive anybody, never tried to be sneaky or clandestine or anything like that. In fact, the complete opposite is true. I went first to the Vancouver Area Network of Drug Users, the Coastal Health sponsored advocacy group for those very people struggling with addiction and involved in the poison drug supply. They gave me unanimous approval because they knew full well that cannabis is one of the best harm reduction options that you could have in your harm reduction toolbox. From there, I went to see the City of Vancouver to get their approval. Well, they didn't want to talk to me about it. Time went on. A couple of months went by of me having them lobbied and trying to get people, calling Carrie Jang and having her hang up on me and trying to get the city to support what we were doing before we started. But it didn't work, so we knew the right thing to do was, as soon as we had these donations, get them into the hands of the people whose lives it could save. And as responsible human beings, we did that as quickly as we could. You know, good people have a responsibility to defy bad laws in an effort to change them. And that's what we were doing. I also took my lawyer, Rob Laurie at the time, to the Vancouver Police board meeting. And I told them all about it as well. I also, during that presentation, explained to them how there was never any justification for the prohibition of cannabis in the first place, and that the federal government is corrupt, and that they should be taken to task for what they've done over the last 100 years. Back then, I guess it was 94. They told me, well, first they thanked me for what I was about to do. Didn't tell me I shouldn't do it. In fact, shook my hand and thanked me. Steve Rye, the deputy chief, had a great conversation with me afterwards. And he also explained about why the City of Vancouver could not pursue charges against the federal government. Why no jurisdiction in Canada can do that. They are quite immune from the police forces in Canada. The Vancouver Police Department is bound by a 7 or 8 mile or kilometer distance outside of their borders. They have no jurisdiction beyond that. So they don't feel they have any jurisdiction to say anything to the federal government about their laws. They just let the federal government do what they do, and then they decide to do whatever they're going to do about it. But it is very, very corrupt, and it is very, very wrong. But we tried to do it right from the beginning. 2.5 years after we started the program, where hundreds of people, once a week for the first year, twice a week for the next 2.5 years, were getting high-dose edibles and reporting great success in going through withdrawal and getting off of those drugs. They passed a motion unanimously to support low barrier access. We met with them and all agreed that we'd move our program indoors into a storefront and start operating 6 days a week. But, moving into a storefront and having to have staff every day and being open 8 hours a day and all the rest that we needed to do, there needed to be money involved. So, low barrier access means you sell cannabis at affordable prices without barriers to those people that come and require it. So that's what we've been doing. We lasted 5.5 months in the store before the city's threats against the landlord to evict us or else caused him to take us to court, and against his own better judgment and against his own will, have us evicted so that he didn't suffer consequences from the city. The city licensing department, you see, wouldn't support what we were doing without Health Canada, and that's why we put our application in. Our application was put in under an emergency basis. We also put forward an application for an emergency temporary exemption from the Cannabis Act to allow us to continue what we were doing without risk. So far, neither of those two things has happened. And that's unconscionable. Because we're saving lives here, and people are dying. And with the government not supporting what we're doing, they're literally condemning people to death. And that's what they've been doing. The amount of people that have died in those last 22 months since we put our application in is astonishing. And they don't care. If they cared, they would have given us a temporary emergency exemption from the Cannabis Act. It's not hard to do. But no, they didn't do that at all. They told us a few months after the application in December that year that they would probably have it ready for us in January. Well, 2 Januaries have come and gone since then. The last one's long gone as well. So maybe next January. How many people are going to die in the meantime as a result of criminal negligence on the part of the federal government and Health Canada? Absolute criminal negligence. They should be charged. They should be sued. They should be sorry, and they should make up for it. And they should give us our license right away. But no. Now, they sent us an intent to deny our application after all this time. Originally gave us 30 days to respond, which is nowhere near enough. Thankfully, we were raided by the VPD 2 weeks into that time period, which made Health Canada give us an extension. So now we've got until the 6th of September to respond to them. 61 more days. Their intent to deny is based on basically 5 things. The first 2 are their reasons for not giving us a license, and that is that all of our product does not come from legal sources. But in our application, we've put forward not only ways to do that, but a stated desire to do that. We would like to have all legal products here, but not taxed at 4 different levels before it gets to us, not including the expensive, outrageous, ridiculous packaging that they're putting their products into, but low barrier, so it's affordable as can be. So the costs are cut wherever possible to make it easy to get people what they need to save their lives. We have 61 days to reply. The second reason they gave was that they won't allow us to provide access to cannabis to any of these people here who can't get a doctor to support their decision to choose high-dose cannabis edibles in an effort to escape addiction. I mean, I can't even describe how ludicrous this is. We're dealing with people that are struggling in poverty and homelessness and addiction. Most normal people in Canada can't get a doctor. There's millions of Canadians that can't find a family doctor. Of the doctors that are out there to be had, or that are even in existence in Canada, less than 5% will even talk about cannabis with their patients. So how are these poor people supposed to get a doctor to support their decision? Not to mention, these are full-grown consenting adults that have chosen, many times because a doctor advised them to do that, to use opioids for their trauma and their pain and their suffering. And then found themselves, after a little bit of use of those opioids, unable to quit without going through a horrible withdrawal. And so they stay addicted because of that. They can't quit. We have a way for them to quit, and the government is going to block that. Unconscionable. 3 other reasons. Well, I don't know if they're reasons or not, but there are 3 ways. Any one of the 3 would be enough for them to give us an exemption. The first one is it in the public's interest? You're going to tell me that what we're doing here is not in the public interest? I mean, do I really need to explain that we're saving the lives of ordinary people's sons and daughters and brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts and family? We're saving their lives. And it's not in the public interest to give us an exemption from the Cannabis Act? Or how about this one? The second one is, it has to be in the name of public health and safety. You telling me that what we're doing here is not in the name of public health and safety? It couldn't be any more involved in public health and safety. During a public health care crisis or a public health emergency, with astounding numbers of people dying, and we have a way to rescue them, and we've demonstrated that for over 5 years. We've got 280 people as part of our program that get high-dose cannabis edibles for free every 4 days. Hundreds more people that come to us that we can't include in the program right now, but we don't turn them away either. We're saving them as well. Everybody can get a muffin and a joint if they need it every day. And that's not in the interest of public health and safety? Give me a break. And the third one is equally as ludicrous. That it needs to be in the name of research to get an exemption. So how are they telling us that what we're doing is not research? Dr. M.J. Malloy had his researchers spend time with us, monitoring what we were doing, and the result was dozens of peer-reviewed papers showing the efficacy and the safety of providing high-dose edibles to people. So Health Canada couldn't be more wrong, and they obviously couldn't be more corrupt, and we're still having to somehow seek some sort of approval from them, apparently to be able to continue. Although I have no intention of not continuing, no matter what their decision is, but that could lead to some serious consequences for me and my team, and we'll just see where that all goes. But it should never come to that. So we have 61 days. 61 days. Oh boy, is it really 4:19 already? Holy smokes. Anyway, time flies even if you're not having fun, apparently. So in 61 days, Health Canada will get our submissions, and I'm hoping they're going to get your submissions as well. That you will write to them, email them, phone them, call, whatever you can do. But tell them what you think about all of this. The more voices, the better. Maybe one of those voices would be the one that does it. Please don't let it go. Please help us and write a letter or send an email or make a phone call. 61 days comes and goes very, very quickly. I guess I'll get to the rest with Glenn, because I got a lot more to say about what's going on with us. And of course, it's 4:20, so Glenn from CannaMatch.ca is my guest for the 4:20 session all the time. He's got a smoke for 2 today.
Yeah. Oh, you're not smoking today, sir? Okay, I know.
I've had a very tough 5 days.
Yes, I know.
I don't really like talking about my own personal health journey.
I didn't want to. I just said you're not smoking.
No, I know, but no, I decided before the show that I would explain that I'm not feeling good again. That I've had headaches, and I'm trying to be healthy. I've changed my diet and other things. I stopped eating chocolate and stuff at night, but I still kept eating stuff at night, and maybe that's the issue because Thursday night I decided to switch to peanuts.
Yeah.
And I ate a whole bunch of cashews and peanuts. And maybe there was a bad one in there, I don't know. But
I use peanuts, but only a couple of handfuls.
Yeah, right? And I had several.
Yeah, you had several, right? Because the protein is good for you. It will make you feel that you're full and you've got something in you, and it'll put you through, right? So. Well,
but the other thing is you're really not supposed to be eating, before bed.
No, I know. My cutoff time is 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what I was told as well.
8 o'clock is a good time.
Which is
2 hours before you go to sleep.
I mean, I'm doing it, whatever, but, that was comfort food for me. I've been eating at night before I go to sleep since my relationship broke up with Roxanne a long time ago.
Yeah.
Hi, Roxanne. And so that's what happened, and I woke up Thursday morning, and my stomach was really off, and I started to throw up, and I couldn't get out of bed till about 4 that afternoon. Wow. With Cannabis Day the next day.
Yes, and then you had a headache, you're saying that Cannabis
by 4 o'clock I had to get up because I had the sound system to go and get.
Yeah.
And so I went and did that.
At 4 a.m.?
At 4 p.m.
Oh, 4 p.m.
I stayed in bed till 4 p.m. that day on Thursday. I didn't feel great, but I was okay. I went and got the sound equipment. I got to bed early that night because, Cannabis Day was coming early in the morning, and I had to be up early, like 7:30 early. But not 4:30 early.
Oh, no, not 4:20 early.
I always turn my data off at night. I leave my phone on, but I always turn my data off. For some reason, I didn't. I mean, I wasn't feeling great. I don't know. I went to bed early. I don't know. I didn't turn my data off.
Turned my phone
I also didn't turn my volume down. I always turn my volume. Almost. I can still. So it'll still wake me up. I'll still hear it.
But you weren't feeling well.
I wasn't feeling well.
So that could be a problem.
I'm only human anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We're only human.
So at 4:30 in the morning, my phone rings.
I know.
And it's one of my vendors. And they want to know where parking is.
At 4:30
I'm like,
in the morning.
what are you doing there at 4:30 in the morning? Nobody's showing up till 8 o'clock.
They're stoned because they just smoked one at 4:20.
Yeah, that must be what it was. It must be it.
They smoked the joint and called you 10 minutes later.
So I just said, why are you there so early? Because
you said
I'll see you there around 8, and I hung up. They phoned me back 45 minutes later. I didn't think to turn my stupid phone off again. I did that time.
What you want this time?
I didn't answer.
Oh, you didn't answer, right?
I didn't answer. But my head was off at that point.
Yes.
And I couldn't get back to sleep properly. And then my alarm goes off at 7:30 and I'm in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But, got work to do, got things to do. It's very important. So I went and got her done. But twice during the day, on Cannabis Day, I had to take pills for my headache, which I really don't like doing. The pills mess my stomach up. It messes me up for a couple of days afterwards.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that, but I had to, right? I mean, migraine is serious stuff, and if I'm going to function at all, I at least have to take the pills. But it didn't knock the headache out.
No.
I actually didn't have the one of the two pills that I take together with me there. So, I had a headache all day, and after taking those pills, I didn't want to take any more.
No.
Because that's a lot for my system. It doesn't like those pharmaceutical pills, but it does make my headache go away.
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Bang.
Just a splitting, thumping headache that I couldn't stand, and so I had to take those pills. And then I was okay till the afternoon on Sunday, and then the headache came back. And then I woke up yesterday with the headache still going on. I stayed in bed all day. Last night again, I felt really dumb because now 2 days had gone by with me having a headache, and a serious one, and not taking more pills. I suffered for 2 days thinking that it would go away.
Yeah,
because that's what happens. I get this break, right?
Well, I do the same thing with my scoliosis. I'll go 2 days for pain, not take anything except for cannabis, and on the third day, if it's still fucking there, then I got to take some opioid because I know that's. But then that 1 day of the opioid will reset me, and I'll be okay the next day. So I'll suffer.
Usually those pills that I take will knock the headache out, and then it doesn't come back.
Yeah.
But this time it was too well entrenched, or been going on for too long. I don't know. But I could have taken it 2 days earlier if I was going to take them, but I didn't. I didn't take it until last night, 6 o'clock last night, and it knocked the headache out within about 15 minutes. My head was no longer thumping. It was no longer feeling like my brain inside was twice as big as what my skull would encompass.
Yep.
And I got about 7 hours of relief.
Oh, that's good.
And
Did
then
you sleep?
Yep.
7 hours?
Yeah, I went to bed 8 o'clock last night.
And you woke up around 5 this morning?
No, I woke up at 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning.
2:30 in the morning.
And my headache was back. It wasn't the thumping, but it was like just this nasty band of pain.
Yeah.
So I got up and I stuck my head in cold water like I always do, ran cold water over my head, and I did that 5 or 6 times.
And you have a good pillow upstairs? Do you think maybe
I have a
your
good
neck
pillow.
is...
I got two very different pillows. One's a therapeutic pillow that's a little bit stiff, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And the other one's a real fluffy pillow that I can mold my head into the way that I have a comfortable bed.
I'm just asking
I usually
some
sleep
of those
really well.
common things that can cause headaches, right?
I know.
It's just your simple pill that you're sleeping with at night time. So
my good friend Brian, you've seen him on the show here numerous times. He came and did another great speech at Cannabis Day there. He's taking neurology. He's a very talented and smart guy.
Yeah.
Several university degrees. And so he asked me about my head and where did it hurt. And he said, well, that's to do with your eyesight. How's your eyesight? I said, well, I do require reading glasses. And sometimes even things far away, it looks like there's an 11 coming at me. And as I get closer, it's just a 1.
Yeah.
And so he said, well, go get your eyes checked. So I'm going to go do that. I have an appointment with a neurologist, not a neurologist, a naturopath on Friday.
Good.
So we'll see what that results in.
Some people are suggesting that you change up your weed. Are you smoking the same weed every day?
I smoke a variety of different weeds mixed together usually. I will try whatever is the new strain that comes in.
There says change up your weed. Don't smoke the same weed day after day.
Well, and when my head starts to go, I can't smoke any weed. I haven't smoked anything now since Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So. And
that could be some of the problem too, I guess, maybe because you're not smoking.
I'm trying everything,
Yeah.
Ryan told me I need to do this.
Oh yes, the thing.
Now I've been getting in there like this.
Yeah.
And he said that's for a minor headache. For a major one, you've got to wrap your hand around your and it's on this index finger. It's that run right there, and you want to activate the 4 points along that.
Wow.
As you go, and to do it for a few minutes at a time.
So you should Google the 4 points so you can look where you're doing it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there'd be an image on
there. I have
there.
arthritis in my hands, so I have no muscle mass at all in my thumbs there. They're quite painful and they don't work very well. But anyways, that's all going on. And like I say, I'm sorry to take you folks on my own personal health journey or journey to no health. But I have been talking about it for all the times I've been doing this show. I've been very upfront about it. This is a show about truth, hope, and change. So I'm not going to lie to anybody. I'm not going to pretend or nothing. I'm going to tell the truth, and if it helps somebody, great. My journey may well be other people's journey too.
I got a free T-shirt today.
Did you? Is that it?
Only because they screwed up.
Is that it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So you want to see what it says?
Today's good mood is sponsored by weed. Hell yeah!
But it's supposed to see on the back. It's supposed to read Glenn 1965, but they put only Glenn 196.
So there's another 195 of you guys.
I don't know, but anyway.
They all look like you.
So since I deal with PayPal gave me a full refund, and so okay, no problem, because that's not what you technically ordered.
Yeah.
Right. So
what the hell? What does 196 mean?
Yeah. I was saying if you're going to do just random.
Was that before Christ or after death?
420.
Yeah. If you only got 3 letters.
Yeah, if you only got 3 numbers, you should have put 420 or 710 in there or something, right?
So you want to talk a little more about CSP?
Yeah, and
I told you we got 61 days to respond to Health Canada. But we were raided.
Yeah.
We were raided by the VPD.
Yep. I was there.
Yeah, it was on a Tuesday. It was just before the show.
Yep.
It was 7 or 8 weeks ago, maybe 8 weeks ago now that happened. They took my RV. They charged myself and 2 of my volunteers with trafficking against the Cannabis Act. And gave us a court date of July 20th. Well, I really thought that should not happen.
Yeah.
This is ludicrous that they would charge us and bring us before the courts when all of our actions and intentions have been to help a public health emergency. And that is as clear can be. There is nothing else going on here. And so after 4 weeks of holding the RV and telling me that I wouldn't get it back at least until 90 days had passed, but probably never because it was going to be proceeds of crime or used in the commission of a crime. And it was all part of an ongoing investigation. So, well, I was happy to hear that there was an ongoing investigation.
Yep.
And I thought, if they're doing an investigation into what we're doing here, you'd think they'd want to talk to me.
Yep.
Go to the source and get him to talk. Maybe he'll incriminate himself.
Maybe.
So I went to them. And I sat down with a staff sergeant at the property office and told him all about our journey this far and how we tried to do everything right. He said, and for those of you who have seen the show before, this won't be new news. For those who haven't seen the show before, hang on for a minute. They said they found 21 grams of crystal meth in my RV. I said, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. And if you did, you planted it there. Because there's no way we would have anything to do with that stuff or any of the other drugs that we're helping people get off of. And I went on this big rant, quite upset about it. He said, well, we'll get those checked out. First he said, well, I saw pictures of it. I said, yeah, what did it look like? He said it was in little glass vials with white lids on them.
Should I show them?
Sure.
Sure, I happen to have one.
I said, oh yeah, that's how they're selling crystal meth these days on the streets, is it? Because that's
right.
Well, it was a white one. Don't you have one of my white
a white one? No,
it don't matter.
No, a white one, but
it don't matter. But I mean, that was kind of cannabis concentrates that we sell. We sell diamonds and butter and all sorts of things that just might look like some of those hard drugs, but it's all just cannabis concentrates.
Yeah,
and in fact, the cannabis concentrates are what really helps people to get off those hard drugs and to displace the use of them. So he said, well, we'll get that checked out right away. I said, yes, please do. He then gave me the number for what he said was the lead officer that day and had a long chat on the phone with that guy. And I laid it all out for him, and he was very supportive. But he said, this is all above my pay grade. I said, well, you're talking to the guys that are above your pay grade. And he said, well, do you want me to pass this on? I said, of course I do.
Yeah.
The very next day, I got a phone call from the VPD saying you can come and get your RV back and there's no costs associated.
That was a great thing.
So they gave me the RV back.
Yep.
They never told me to stop doing what we were doing. I've subsequently had numerous, probably 8 or 9 conversations with VPD. Never the senior guys, always just random encounters. Although some of them came to talk to us here. All very positive. None of them telling us to stop. The one couple of VPD that came and showed up at the tent that we had erected because we never stopped doing what we're doing, said that they were there to give us a message that if we move our tent back a little bit off the road, then they probably won't come and steal our stuff again. Well, that was nice of them, and I argued a little bit, but I certainly went along with it and said, yeah, I'll move my tent a little bit onto the sidewalk then, if that's going to make a difference, and so we did. All those conversations, very supportive. Not one that wasn't supportive, although one officer said, well, you just need to do it the right way.
Oh, isn't that the
And it's, I don't know how we could have done it any more the right way. We've certainly been trying. We're not trying to do it anything but the right way. A couple of the VPD officers off the record told us to keep doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Sheriffs that walk by all the time. Lawyers walk by all the time. Several of them have stopped and conversed with us now that we've got the RV back. They tell us, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing good work here.
Yep.
So we'll see. But it looks like we are off to court on July 20th, coming right up, 3 weeks from now.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Wednesday.
So day after the show.
Day after the show.
Okay, I'll be there.
I need everybody there that can be there. Please come out and support us.
We will.
Our lawyer at this point is still going to put together a statement of defense that might keep it from going to court, but he says he's not confident. He says that the prosecutors probably have not reviewed the file. They probably are too busy and won't be reviewing the file until maybe the day of or the day before they go to court on it. And that the judge that we're going to see won't be a judge, he'll be a justice of the peace. That he will not be interested in any of our reasoning or defense.
Yeah.
He will just want to know whether or not we have lawyers and whether or not we're going to plead guilty or not guilty.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to court on the 20th. I'll certainly keep you posted if we're not in the next 2 shows before that. 3, I guess.
And I'm thankful to your lawyer, too, because he's actually helping me out today, too.
Good.
So he's been helping me out for the last 3 weeks. Hopefully I get an email from him shortly, but yeah. I would like to thank him too.
Jack Lloyd is a very good lawyer. He's a very good friend of our community. John Conroy has also been very good with us as far as representing us to Health Canada and helping us with our application and those sorts of things. Mm-hmm. We'll see where all that goes. But this is a colossal waste of taxpayer dollars. It's a travesty of justice to bring us into a courtroom.
When you're saving lives.
Other than to commend us for the fine work that we're doing and apologize for the Cannabis Act. I mean, that's really what the courts should be doing, is apologizing for the Cannabis Act. If I was to be able to explain myself to this justice of the peace, he would probably scold the prosecution for bringing it forward and scold the VPD for bringing it forward. But, we'll see how all that goes. Jack says that he has seen many people have whatever they said to the prosecutor used against them, even when they didn't deserve it.
Yeah. And
he has very little confidence that I should be going and talking to them and telling them anything.
Yeah.
Well, what can I tell them?
They've done that lots of times. I know. They've even done it with me.
Oh, too. I've seen it.
Yeah, they've seen it, yeah.
But I'm confident in what we're doing here. I'm confident that if we explain ourselves properly, that they will drop those charges. They would not go ahead. They can't convict us in a court with what we've been doing here because we've never tried to hide anything.
No.
The fact that I went to the VPD board, the city council, Vandu, the media, every level of government, I've written literally dozens and dozens of letters to people in positions of influence in the government at all 3 levels over the last 5 years. Yeah. There's a huge paper trail of me explaining what we're doing, why we're doing it, and all the rest of it. So I don't see how I could say anything to the prosecution that they don't already know and can't already find out. Yeah. And we're totally proud of what we're doing here. I'm not denying anything. I'm not denying that we're selling cannabis. We needed to sell cannabis for 2 very good reasons. One, our understanding with the city that we get a storefront meant we had to pay for a storefront. I had to pay for volunteers. I had to pay for lots of different things. And if we're going to operate that program 8 hours a day, at the time 6 days a week, we're now 7 days a week, we needed to have some cash to be able to make all that work. Reason number 1, couldn't really do what we're doing here without the cash to do it with, and nobody's stepping forward with a big donation for us to make that work. So we did what we had to do to maintain the program to keep saving lives. Reason number 2, more important than the first one, people need discreet, low-barrier access to buy cannabis and not be part of a program that identifies them as a drug user. There are tens of thousands, if not more, secret, invisible addicts in Canada, not on the downtown east sides of all the different major centres, but throughout the communities, right across Canada, even in remote communities. There are a lot of people that got themselves addicted to these drugs, mostly through doctors prescribing it for trauma and pain, that can't get off, And they're embarrassed about it. They don't want nobody to know. They're not going to their family doctor. They're not going to tell their family. They need to be able to put on a hoodie and a baseball cap and a pair of sunglasses and walk into a low barrier access medical cannabis dispensary and get what they need and walk away without showing ID, without having to admit to anything. And that's what needs to happen. And without it, those people are at serious risk of dying, and many are dying every day. So shame on the Canadian government for all of this, for all of the trials that they're putting us through, for the lack of support that would have saved way more lives by now if we'd have had it. Our hands are tied here to a great extent. We're trying to operate out of a stupid little RV. What kind of a way is that to make people access stuff? Are these not citizens? Are these not people that deserve some respect? Are these not the abused children of our society that we should be making sure get access to what might help them? So shame on the Canadian government. And, we'll see where it goes from here. But that's what I wanted to say about that. We have about 3 weeks before we're in court, and we would like to see as many supporters as we could come out for that. And then we have 61 days as of today to respond to Health Canada, and we would like to have people write us letters and send emails and all the rest of that. We will be putting together an online petition really shortly now that we'll be broadcasting and letting people know about. This is our new little kitten, by the way.
Interrupting the show to sit in your lap.
This is Sadie. Sadie Sad Eyes. You can probably see why we named her that. Yeah. She's so sweet. She's a little rambunctious sometimes.
Keep looking at the plant, I keep stopping her.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I want that plant.
Oh, man.
Walk over, I could go over here and over there.
This is not food for you.
No.
Okay, well.
I don't know about the plant.
I don't either.
You lost some already too, right?
Yeah, well, I got 4 at Cannabis Day, little ones,
Yeah.
not clones, produced from seed, and I put them out with our other plants out back there. I guess it was rats that got into them. Maybe it was the neighbor's cats. I'm not sure.
Oh, out back. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I thought they should have some
another
sun.
cat, maybe.
Yeah, the neighbor has cats that go out there. I don't let Cato go out there because he harasses the neighbor's cat, and then they've got a cat door that Cato has no problem walking through and then chasing that guy's cat around. So I don't let him go out there.
Sorry, but yeah, that's kind of cute.
Well,
it's good,
Warner didn't like it.
No, but the cat knew that was a cat door, and he could go in there and chase other cats. So
yeah, well,
that's pretty smart, Cato there.
but it cost him his ability to go outside. Because he doesn't like very much.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Cato that got into my plants. It was something else. So we're not sure.
Yeah.
They might survive. I'm not sure. They've had most of their leaves chewed off. We will see. I also basically killed one of my plants out there because it got hot here.
Yeah.
And, the back area only has like a 4 foot or 6 foot thing that goes way up, so it only gets sun for half an hour. But I guess it was so warm.
Yeah.
And I didn't water them properly. And I didn't even think about it when I saw Johnny B in a little thing on Facebook where he shows a plant that was all wilted down that he hadn't watered properly.
Yeah.
And don't let her do that. Sticky down.
Okay, it's gonna go, eh?
Just pull her down. Put her on the floor. You can't be biting my plant. Silly little girl. I guess they love the weed too.
Yep.
But anyway, so the one plant was crispy.
Yeah.
It was crispy. So I tried watering it, and that didn't. She is just determined,
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh no, maybe not. We're gonna go.
I don't know. Anyway,
avoid the plant now.
And so one branch on that plant, it was similar size to that. One branch started to come back. I cut off all the rest, and it seems to be growing. And I guess it'll continue. So.
Yeah, and I've heard people like Doug and Michelle told us that they cut their plant, and it's been outside all winter long. And we're back, are we? All winter long.
Give her to me.
And then in the summertime or the spring, it started growing again.
Right, eh?
Right, just right from the stub.
I've seen that.
Right? Yeah,
I've seen that. In fact, Don and Carol had one that was growing in a crack in the cement in one of their greenhouses, and they did that. They cut it right down, and then it grew back up the next year, and it was huge.
Wow!
It was like 7 or 8 feet tall.
Wow,
it was huge.
Wow!
So yeah,
that is amazing. It's an amazing plant.
Yeah,
and it's so good for you. And it's healthy for you, and it lives healthy. Oh, you're going to come see me, and we're going to go up here?
She knows what she wants. It's cannabis like everybody else.
Okay.
And speaking of cannabis and people wanting cannabis, we had a great Cannabis Day protest at Thornton Park. There was a ton of people there that appreciated what we were doing, and there was some really good speeches made that really did nail, how wrong this whole thing is. And we had no media. We never get media on a Cannabis Day. They just don't come out. There's too many other events to cover. So I think our speeches went unheard, but they were all videotaped and they're online in different places, and so people can see it. And maybe it'll make a difference one of these days. We're going to keep protesting until the difference is made.
There's this guy singing on there, and that video's had over 500 views already.
Oh, is that right? And so, Cannabis Day was great.
Yeah.
And we're just over 3 weeks away from another one. We're going to do BC Bud Day, brought to you by CannaMatch this year.
And the CSP.
And the CSP.
Well, the CSP and CannaMatch. You guys are first. It's your event.
And there may be more than that. I heard there's rumors that a couple other people want to help us with what we're doing.
Okay.
But yeah, no fees for vendors.
No, totally free.
Nothing like that. It's a huge park.
First come,
always
first serve.
Lots of space available.
After 6 a.m., first come, first serve. We don't need to be there at 4:30 or 4:20
I'm not going to be there.
No, I'm just saying. So first come, first serve, starting at 6 a.m. if you want to be early, right?
I'm not going to be there before 6 a.m. I'm probably not going to be there before 7:30.
No, I know. You never know who will call you in the middle of the night, right?
Bless their hearts for being eager.
Yes, I know.
And she's back at it again.
Is she? Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Well, you know what?
Well, listen, Muffin.
I don't know. Maybe we should not. Maybe I don't know. What do we do?
Oh, just
keep the cat busy.
Nothing we can do.
Well, it'll
be a
plant back there. But then you won't see them doing it.
Oh,
yeah.
It's okay.
And I'm allergic to cats. So
are you? What are you doing?
Well, as long as I don't touch my face, I'm good. I know what I'm going to do, right?
Well, I stopped touching my face during the pandemic, so I'm good.
Oh shit! And it wasn't with the pandemic stopped me from touching my face.
It did for me.
It did for you, yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. There she goes. She's gonna bite some more there.
Yeah.
Hey, Sadie.
Hey.
No. Give her a little finger on the nose.
There you go.
No.
Tap on the nose.
No.
Oh my
Welcome
God.
to the THC cat training session.
Yeah, a discipline show.
So, BC Bud Day, come on down. It should be a great time. It always is. And that's in September, August 1st.
Monday, August the 1st.
Long weekend. It's right off the bat in August this year. What was I saying September for?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll see what we do. We'll see what we do in September. Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. Haven't decided that one yet. But
and we can fill that park. We've seen that park, Thornton Park, filled.
No, we've never seen that park filled.
Well, I meant
we had a really big Cannabis Day there probably 3 or 4 years ago.
I remember.
And we didn't even take up half the park.
Oh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I remember.
That's a very big park.
Oh yeah, it is a very big park.
Oh yeah. And there's all these little branches off that main path that goes through the park.
I remember
and all those branches become little villages of their own.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful place.
It's great.
And there was no goose poop.
No. And it's accessible by the medical people who are doing this for it because it's flat, right?
Right.
We don't need to have bumps or curves or hills. They can roll in with their scooters or walkers or canes. It's all flat, right?
Yeah, it's a very, very good park for
we don't need
any
hills to go down to or carry our stuff to or whatever,
It's a really good park. It functions very well for us, and I think we're going to keep using it.
The art gallery is like that too, nice and flat.
Yeah, the art gallery has some issues with and I was wondering if the police were going to come and try to stop people from dropping their stuff off, but they didn't. We never saw one single VPD all day.
Yeah.
Nope, that was a SkyTrain.
Oh, it was
I thought you were going to talk about that one guy.
No,
there was one guy, and I thought he was VPD because their uniforms
later.
That's
at the end of the event. We saw him standing at your van talking to you. I thought he was a cop too.
I did too until we were partway through the conversation, and he had been there a couple hours before, standing over by the SkyTrain, watching us, and he was on the phone, and we're thinking, and we thought he was VPD.
Yeah.
So he ended up coming over and talking to me. We had a great chat. I said, "Oh, a senior officer, right? A sergeant."
Yeah.
I said, "I have a hard time getting senior officers to talk to. They're elusive. So I'm really happy that you're here, sir." I said, "Have you heard about the CSP?" And he hadn't.
No.
So I filled them all in on it, and then I realized that it said transit on his thing there. But man, their uniforms are almost identical. And
it says police on their vests.
And if the vest says police,
it doesn't say transit police.
It does not say transit police. So I thought I had a VPD sergeant there, but instead I had a... But he told me that he was with the VPD for 28 years.
Wow.
That he is still good friends with lots of the senior officers in the VPD, and he was going to see what he could do for us.
Thanks.
So
that's
was
very
really
nice. So he was watching us, making phone calls.
Yeah, and I said, I saw you over there.
Yeah.
I wondered, and he said, well, I was just reporting in that you guys were here, but my report is that you seemed like a pretty mellow group that didn't really need any enforcement from us.
Yeah.
And I thanked him for that and said, yeah, sir, we've done this 6 or 7 years here.
But he wouldn't have jurisdiction off the...
Oh, he could have called the VPD.
Yeah, he could have done that way, yeah. But he couldn't walk over to us and say, hey, get out of the park, because he's not...
Probably
transit.
not.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah, he's not a ranger or anything.
No. So, yeah, it was a good day all around.
Yeah.
I suspect BC Bud Day will be...
Let's hope the weather cooperates.
Equal. Yeah, it's always about the weather.
It's always about the weather. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, dear. So there's one other thing that we should talk about.
Yeah.
There's been that case that we reported on early on as it was ongoing in the courts, the Warnocky-Seaman-Martin case. And once that completed before the courts, we've been waiting now for the decision, which was supposed to happen June 30th. I'll just see if maybe Pat gave me anything else. No, I just asked him if there was any other details. I talked with him a couple days ago. And, any other details? He says no. So that's, good, I guess. But here's the details that we do have. And that is that the decision has been put off to August 23rd. And one of the reasons for that is because they changed judges. So after one judge listened to the whole case, now another judge is going to make the decision. So I think that sounds terrible.
Don't they do audio when we do that?
I'm sure maybe the other judge could listen to everything.
The whole thing, yes. It would probably be his job to do that.
I would think so.
Yes.
His or her.
Yeah.
But,
or their. We'll go with their.
Their
job.
Be careful with those pronouns.
Yes. I don't get that right either.
So
I'm old school too.
I don't know these things. I'm not a lawyer, but it sounds to me like if there's a bad decision, there might be grounds for a mistrial.
Yeah, because it got changed.
But I have no idea about that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that the demeanor of the first judge was that she was very sensitive to the issues, and that she was going to do her due diligence, and I thought she was a favorable judge.
Yeah.
So if we've got some crusty old hardcore judge now who gives us a bad decision or provides a bad decision, then it could be grounds for mistrial. I have no idea.
Do we know why the judge?
Pat says his lawyer is confused as well as to why they would do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, probably because they have such a really good case.
Wow.
And
I'm just thinking it could be health reasons or family reasons, maybe.
I guess it could be that too.
Right.
You never know.
We have to think of that, right?
You never know. Maybe it's not just a corrupt move by the government.
Yes. We have to allow for all possibilities, right?
I guess.
I mean, the only way you're going to find out is by finding out. And a lawyer will be able to do that, I would assume.
Yeah.
I would assume.
So August 23rd, we should know, where that's going to go or whether or not that's going to be appealed by either side or what have you. So that's about all we know on all of that.
Yeah.
There's not much else.
No.
I guess we'll go out and have a check with the RV.
All right.
I'm not feeling very good, so I need to have a short show today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about those people who like long shows. I'm not sure that's anybody.
No problem. And I'll see you next week, and I hope that you feel better, and I'll check with you on mine and stuff like that. Oh, no, I'll follow you out, but I'm just saying goodbye to, and other people too, right? Okay. Yeah. No problem. I'm good. I'll stick around first.
Live TV.
It's live. It's what you get. You just never know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh.
And now it's time for the THC weather report in downtown Vancouver.
Brought to you by
Look at that. It's a beautiful day. It's got some cloud, but that's always nice because then it's not so hot. Yes. It's another lovely day here. There's those two guys. You can show those two guys, except to go on the other side of them, maybe.
Well, not yet. I haven't done that to you yet.
There's landlord. How you doing, landlord?
Hey, Neil.
How was your cannabis day?
It was a long day, but it was really
You
good.
guys want to swap sides? Just got people coming behind you, so do you guys want to maybe stand by the van or maybe out to the street that way? Sorry about that, landlord.
Ah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, sir? Anything else to report?
Well,
We
like
could
I
talk
said
later,
to
you and I.
Yeah,
I
we
think
can
we should
talk
do that.
now.
No, we're not on camera. It's probably a better idea if we're going to figure that kind of stuff out.
Well,
So, I know. But we had a good cannabis day.
yeah.
And I think we had a lot of happy people at the end. I think we had about 15 vendors. They were all very happy. I think all the people that attended were happy. I know I was very pleased with the speeches that we had there. There was some really good stuff that happened there. So, and you were just in Abbotsford.
I was out there making a cross to my mom's grave in Pemberton, Mount Curry.
Saw that. Did you get to put that down too?
No, I'll go in August up north.
I see.
I was having a little dilemma with the Christian people who've known me since I was 18.
Great.
My friend Harry's known me the longest since I lived under a bridge in Vancouver in 1976. So he keeps Edward and I in prayer. But the other people couldn't forgive Edward. I said, you know, we all make mistakes. No one's perfect. And
I thought forgiveness was the whole idea of
as a Christian, yeah.
Yeah.
So after 40 years, I had a talk with him at the table this morning and said, well, shouldn't Edward be with you? I said, you know, the building looks the other way when he lives with me because Edward rules for you.
Yeah.
And I call my adopted son. He calls me Dad. I came home today. The first thing I got was a nice big hug.
Nice.
So
You've helped that kid out an awful lot.
Edward's been with me for 4 years this September, and he's got his own drug problem, but he's changing. He's getting better. And so yeah, he's been rolling for you for a while.
He's our number one roller at this point.
Carrying on the tradition I used to do. So.
Yeah. And you can't really roll anymore.
No, I can't. My hands after 45 plus years of rolling are pretty sore. He rolls for me.
I wore you out, did I?
You wore me out, Neil. But
oh dear, a casualty of the Holy Rollers team there. Yeah, you've been rolling joints for us for a long time. I can't roll a whole bunch of joints anymore either. My thumbs are pretty bad. I can roll 15 or 20 joints at a time, and then I'm kind of done for till the next day, I guess.
no,
So thank goodness for Edward.
yeah, I come home and what is he doing? Rolling already. He already
Yeah.
came down and gave you some
Nice.
today. But
And most of those joints we give away to people here. That when they come here and they don't have any money and they need to get something to help them, and they get a free joint. And without Edward rolling the way he rolls, it'd be hard for us to keep up with that. So I'm really happy to have him, and I'm glad that he's happy to be doing that.
BC Bud Day is coming up.
BC Bud Day?
BC Bud Day. It's 2 days after my birthday, July 30th. So I expect people to bring some joints down. But
I'm going to tell you more about that later.
yeah, Thornton Park, BC Bud Day.
Nice. We already did promote it a little bit in there.
Okay, yeah, right
So,
on.
I look forward to you opening the event again because there's nobody that can take your place there, buddy.
Yeah, I've had differences, but
We'll work out those
Yeah.
differences with the community. I'm sure it's all fine, and I'm sure it'll be good.
I noticed I come off SkyTrain today. There's two vendors down there selling medicinal already
Nice.
today
Nice.
at Thornton Park today. So
Pop-up cannabis tents is a really good idea. They should really be all around the city. Hello, Marion. Good to see you. She's an administrator with Van Du that's helped us out greatly. Just had to wave at her even though you guys don't get to see her. But, yeah, so that's what's going on, and we'll update you more as we go forward. And I'm going to go let him talk to Andrew.
yeah, come on out and check out Neil's RV because he's got it back and he's fighting the hardest, fighting the war against the government and the city. I hope and pray one day he has his dispensary open again because he really helped a lot of people in the community. He's helped me over the years. I've known Neil before he had gray hair, I think.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I started going gray in my 30s.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, come on down, see Neil down on Cordova.
You know where you
Main.
get gray hair, eh? It's hereditary.
Oh,
You get it from your kids.
yeah. But yeah, come on down. We look forward to seeing you at BC Bud Day. Enjoy your day and love and peace and marijuana. Yeah.
Thank you, landlord.
Have a great day. Thank you, Neil.
We'll talk to you real soon. You're going to hang around for a little bit? We're going to wrap up here real soon.
I'm going to go home. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I'll come see you this week.
Okay.
But yeah, everybody have a great day. Enjoy the sun. Oh, there's Glenn, CannaMatch.ca. I don't forget that.
Yeah, BC Bud Day brought to you by CannaMatch.ca and the Cannabis Substitution Program.
Good.
That's what it is.
CannaMatch.ca. That's a good website. I got to check it out.
Yeah, everybody should join that just for fun.
Maybe I'll
Whether
find
you,
my
want
wife.
to, whether you want to find somebody to fool around and fall in love with or not, it's a great way to connect with other cannabis users. So. And if you're looking for cannabis, it's a great way to connect with people who might know how to help you with that. But it doesn't involve
Check out
some
this.
government
This is
drag.
awesome. My friend Jack from Victoria bought one of these the other day at the Cannabis Culture. He's like, wow, I want to buy that right away. So,
I should go see them. They must have some money for us.
yeah, no, go to Cannabis Culture or come on
I'm
down
glad they
here.
finally put them out. I gave them a bunch to sell a long time ago, and they had them down in the basement for a long time. So I'm really glad they got them out.
No, Jack saw it right away and he bought it right away. No hesitation.
And we have them here as well too. We like a $25 minimum donation. They're really a $60+ hoodie. They're very good quality hoodies.
They're real nice, but I gave mine away already. So.
I'll replace that for you.
But anyways, have a good day. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Anil and Glenn.
Cool, man.
Much love. Peace.
All right. Well, who's here? Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
How's the day? Yeah. Anything exciting to report or interesting?
Got to see Jordy again today.
Nice.
Very happy he's coming by more often
So
again.
Jen here has a blog that she does every night that is super informative, very entertaining, and I highly recommend it for sure. If you want to know what we're doing here, the impact that we're having, some of the people that we're helping, and how it's all working, check out Jen Nelson on Facebook and her nightly blog about what goes on here. So I'll come and see you in a minute. So CSP's been running for 5.5 years almost. We've really made some big impacts right across Canada. It's not just here in the downtown east side of Vancouver. In fact, it was only within 6 months of starting here that one of the board members from Vandu went to Victoria and got the Victoria advocacy group over there to start their own CSP. I don't think they call it the CSP, but they have a cannabis substitution program there where they provide pretty much what we're providing, a little different, but pretty much the same idea for sure. And then let's see, it would have been 2.5 years in that my friend in Nova Scotia, in Halifax, Chris Backer, decided that his community needed what we were doing here, and he started the East Coast Cannabis Substitution Program, and they've been going strong for well over 2 years. Mary McCarty, she was our head baker here, and she had to leave and go to London, Ontario, and so she started the Cannabis Substitution Program there. I spoke with William today. They had 75 very happy people come. They've had to switch locations. They're not feeling very secure in the location that they're in, and they're hoping to get a better location soon. If you're in London, Ontario, if you think you can help them in any way, I'm sure that they would appreciate that. All the CSPs need as much help as we can get. Everything's done by donation, and it's a big task going on, putting together all of these care packs for people and getting them out to people. So thanks to William and his team in London, Ontario. Mary moved to Winnipeg and briefly started a CSP there, but she's had to put it on hold because she's having some serious issues with her feet. She can't walk properly and doesn't have enough volunteers to be able to handle it without her there on her feet. So if you're in Winnipeg and you'd like to help out with a CSP, there's a great opportunity to do that with Mary as well. So all our best to Mary. We hope she gets that sorted out quickly. It could be a circulation issue. I guess that's what she's looking at next. She's got an appointment coming right up, so fingers really crossed for her that she can get that solved, not just for the CSP in Winnipeg, but for Mary herself. It really hurts to think that she can't be her regular self and get around like she should be able to. So yeah, if you can help Mary or William or Chris or us or any of the cannabis substitution projects that are going on that aren't affiliated with us, I highly recommend you do that. That is the new front of the cannabis legalization movement. We don't have proper legalization here in Canada. This is the legalization that we have is just set up for rich people. It completely excludes poor people, sick people that need it daily. No high dose edibles, super expensive cannabis. Yeah, we have not gotten legalization yet. We need low barrier access. So please continue to join us in our fight for ordinary poor folk and sick folk that that need affordable access to good cannabinoids, and maybe with all your help we can get her done. So this is the door for the CSP. I don't know where we knock now.
Oh, when it gets warm, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, when it gets warm, you got to leave the door open, eh?
Yeah, let some air flow right through.
Yeah, it's too hot in there.
Yes, it
and
is.
we thought we were going to continue with the tent on the hot days, but what we understood after thinking about that was, well, when it's hot in the RV, it's also hot under the tent. It's just the days are hot.
Yeah.
So with a little bit of draft going through here, it stays about as cool as you can get anyway. So that's what's going on. So how's the CSP going?
It's going good. There we go.
Now they're not coming for us.
I've had 25 members today.
Right on. And what do you got for them these days?
Well, what I got is more. I need more donations. That's what I got.
Yeah, we always need more donations.
People, more donations. I've got some of Joe Pepper's cookies. I got some chocolate ones. They're 100 milligrams.
Those are good looking cookies.
And then today she brought some cookies. They turned out purple.
Nice.
But that's okay. It smells like berries. I got some from.
Those are very good cookies.
I got some cookies here from Robert.
Robert?
He brought us a whole bunch of cookies.
That's somewhere in Neverland.
Yes, it is. They're 80 to 100
He's
milligrams.
a fabulous donator.
Yes,
Joe
he
Pepper's
is.
a fabulous donator.
I have this from somebody here that could stop by at the window and gives us one.
Yeah, he just comes and hands us some of those.
He has a knapsack and he hands us a whole bunch of these, and
he gives them out all over Vancouver.
Yes, he does.
And he wanted us to be part of that.
Yeah,
so we don't know who he is.
No, but
There's no name associated.
Donations are great. We'll accept it. And I got some for Sean. I got some.
That's Green Wilderness.
Yeah, 100 milligrams of gummy bears, 5 milligrams each. There's 20 inside, so I think it's 100 milligrams.
Right.
And then today we got
Gorilla Ganja.
Gorilla Ganja, but we've only got cherry, full sativa.
There's another order in for more of those.
And then we've got mango half and half.
The Gorilla Ganja people have been so fabulous over the years with us.
Really good.
It's been 4.5 years probably that they've been helping us with their stuff, and they give us literally thousands of dollars worth every month to hand out to people for free.
And we have cream. So this is topical cream. It's 20 milligrams of indica cream.
Yeah.
And
those are caps from Dirty Dave.
Caps from Dirty Dave right here. These are 100 milligrammers. Caps are so popular that I had at least 40 in here. I got one left today.
Right.
That's a 50 milligram pill.
Right.
And the way the bag looks that way is because they're usually in the fridge. It's getting warm out now, so, right?
Yeah.
That's loud.
All right, Andrew. I'll let you deal with your member here, and we're gonna.
Appreciate it, guys.
Very good. Yeah, super huge thanks to all the donators who helped us.
I wanted the $2 grams.
Home sweet home. Well, home away from home anyway. And it's an RV, so it's a motor home. But it really has been home for us here for a long time. We've been in this RV since November 1st, a year ago last November. So that's a very long time. Minus the 4 weeks that the VPD took our RV, maybe just to find out whether or not there was other things going on here that they wouldn't approve of. But it looks like there wasn't, because they gave us the RV back, and we're right back at work right away. As soon as we got it picked up from the property office, I had it put right back here where we had it for all those months, and here we are. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what the prosecutor and the courts decide they're going to do with us, I guess. So just remember that coming up in about 3 weeks, on July 20th at 222 Main Street, the courthouse there, we're going to be there for our first appearance.
You know what I just realized? Remember how, before they said that they didn't want to approve you because you're coming into this with unclean hands?
Yeah.
Well, now they'll be unclean because of their ink.
Yeah, that's right. I have to go for fingerprinting on the 18th there. Yeah. So what she's referring to, for those who don't know, when we were being evicted due to a lack of license from the city and the threats from the city licensing department, we ended up in court. We had asked for a 6-month adjournment to be able to get our licenses in place before the eviction, and the judge there refused to give us time. He gave us 7 days to get out of the store, and said that we were arriving in his court with unclean hands. So that seems rather ludicrous to me. Either he didn't get it, and he should have, or he did get it. And either way, I would say he has blood on his hands, because it's been all these months later. He was right, mind you, that he said he had no confidence we would get the license within 6 months, and I thought that was crazy. Of course Health Canada is going to give us a license before 6 months. People are dying, and we're answering that need. But no, he was right, and now it's been almost 2 years since we applied to Health Canada. So shame on Health Canada once again, and maybe we can prompt them into doing the right thing as we move forward. But it looks like we're probably going to end up having to take them to court on a constitutional challenge at some point. But in the meantime, we need to deal now with these charges that they've laid against us, and maybe that's our way to get into the courts with a constitutional challenge. Is if on the 20th they decide they are going to go ahead with those charges, then we'll probably launch a constitutional challenge. But I don't know that for sure. If we do, we are going to have to fundraise for that. And you know, I've never gone to the cannabis community with a fundraiser in all of my couple decades of activism. I've tried not to do that. I don't want to do that. But that will be the right thing to do if we need to come up with the legal fees to handle a constitutional challenge. And so we might be doing that. We'll see. We'll try to be creative about it. We'll try to give value for the funds that we raise and all that kind of stuff. But that's kind of where we're at with that.
You have a good day. Cheers.
George, got anything to say? Pretty quiet guy. Still rolling joints?
Still rolling. Still
Rolling.
It's been a good day.
All I do is rolling.
Every day's a good day without a raid, eh?
Lots of rolling.
That's a great day.
Every day's a great day without a raid. So we have a lot of great days here. We only had one raid.
And
so,
we do what we like. And
know.
we do what we love. We love marijuana. We all love marijuana. So we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
And we're helping people.
Yeah,
that's what really feels good.
Back.
I mean, it's great to be working with cannabis and everything, but the thanks that we get all day long from the people that we're helping makes this just such a rewarding job. It's difficult to be down here. This is a tough neighborhood to see the problems that people are having, but it's very rewarding to get the thanks that we get all day long from
they give you rewards in any
so
way
many
they
people.
can. It could be, you know, some guy gave me some pins to put when we had the tent out. Guy gave me a $5 bill and put it in the donation. Or
Yeah.
they just give you what they have, right? Some books or some dishes or whatever.
I had a guy here on Monday when my son and I were out here at the end of the day. He came and he had this fancy little pop-up light that has 3 different settings on it, and said, and I thought he wanted to trade for something. Lots of people want to trade us for things. We don't do much of that at all. We're not into trading for stuff. But he just wanted to give it to me, and you know, said he thought it might help us. So,
and they try and help us. They give what they can.
yeah.
And we get all kinds of things, and it's not bad for them to give it, you know.
Yeah.
We can't say, oh, we can't take, you know, that's.
No, if they're giving it to us, we take
Yeah.
it. It would be an insult to not. And we do the right things with them. In many cases, we give them away to other people or
we
whatever.
help
Or we
them,
use it if it's going to help us here.
That's okay.
But they do want to help.
They do the
They
best
do
they
want to
can.
thank us for being here. And that's the other thing with shame on Health Canada. You know, they're intending to make these decisions on us, and they've never been here. They have our application, but I doubt they're watching the THC show every week. And I mean, that's something they should be doing, or they should be here. We have a proven track record of 5 years demonstrating that we're saving people's lives. 280 human beings that are alive today, that are members of this, that will tell Health Canada how much we've helped them and that we've saved their life if Health Canada would only come and ask them and come and see what we're doing here. But never once. And not only Health Canada, I've never seen any member from any level of government come here and see what we're doing. And if we are really doing what we're telling them we're doing, then they should be here and they should be looking to support us immediately and thanking us for what we're doing. But instead, we're left here operating without any oversight from them, and yet they're going to make decisions about whether or not we can continue to help people or not. If they actually say no to us and expect us to shut down, that'll be one of the most horrific acts that I have ever even considered possible by a democratic government that is supposed to be caring about its people. It will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they do not care about the people that are in trouble here that we're helping, that the only thing they care about is the financial health of the licensed producers and the licensed stores, and they want to make sure that nobody's going to sell any cannabis cheaper than them and cut into their business. And their cannabis is so ridiculously overpriced at $14, $18, $20 a gram, and now they're going to consider including more craft cannabis growers, and that's boutique cannabis. And what are they going to think they're going to charge for that? I don't know, but it isn't something that any of the poor people can afford. It isn't something anybody should have to afford. If you want to buy a really expensive cannabis, absolutely go for it. All the power to you, and all the power to anybody who wants to set up a store that only has high-priced cannabis, but not at the exclusion of low barrier access and stores that will help out the people that really need it. That's what the government needs to make sure of, is that there's low barrier access stores for people in their community, and lots of them. Cheers. So that's kind of where we're at. I really run out of gas at this point. I'm sorry to cut the show short today. I got to thank Neil for being my producer for all these years. We're coming up on 3 years pretty soon that this show's been running, and all of it is a testimonial to what we're doing here with the CSP, and all of it should be viewed by Health Canada before they decide whether or not they should support us or not. Certainly, if they're not going to support us, they need to be looking at what we're putting out. So thanks to all of you for watching. Thanks to everybody that's donating. Thanks to everybody that's writing letters, making phone calls, emailing, and all the other things you might be able to do to contact the media, contact your local police, contact your local government, contact the federal government. Anything and everything that you can think of could help us, and we really feel like we need some help here with the pressures of government coming down on us. So thanks again for watching and all that you're doing and going to do. Enjoy your life. Make sure that you're helping people. Make sure that you're spreading the love around, and mostly make sure, because life is short, that you're having as much fun as you can. Thank you.